Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I think if I tilt this you'll be able to see the sparkle. Yes you can, there you go. I've painted over the top of my tree with the clear Wink of Stella glitter pen and it really has made it look gorgeous. I'll start off by telling you the card pieces you're going to need. And I will change my colour. I'm going to use Sweet Sugarplum. So the pieces you're going to need: a card base in Whisper White, which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8. In metric, that's 21 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. Then you need a layer of Sweet Sugarplum, and this measures 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. A top layer of Whisper White, which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and that is 10 by 14 centimetres. You will need approximately a quarter of a sheet of Sweet Sugarplum. That's for the 2 layers of the treetops. I don't know what the exact measurement is, but if you've got a quarter of a sheet, cut in 2 like that, it will be plenty. Then you need a scrap of soft suede for the tree trunk, and then a small piece of Whisper White for the 2 birds. I'm going to start by stamping the parts that need to be die cut with the Big Shot. So that's going to be the tree, the birds, or at least the tree trunk and the tree bits. The stamp set that I'm using is this, which is a limited edition that's only going to be available from the 2nd of August 2016 until the 31st of August 2016. As I say, it is a limited edition, but it's a beauty. It really is lovely. It comes with a coordinating die set as well. So you've got, this will be the bit that cuts out the tree. There is an individual tree there as well. You've got leaves with a flower head, the tree trunk, birds, apple, a small leaf and a small branch of leaves, and a large leaf just on its own. A really lovely set. So what I'm starting with stamping is the tree, the 2 birds and the tree trunk. So let's do those. I'll move that out of the way and I'll bring in the soft suede first. I'll do the tree trunk, and then I will do the 2 birds. I have one that faces left and one that faces right. And then I need the 2 treetops. So I'll bring over my Sweet Sugarplum ink and the stamp. With the stamp, it's got a little tab up the top here. There we go. If you make sure that that goes to the top of your cardstock when you're stamping, and then when you die cut it, there'll be a tab on the die as well. So you make that go in the same direction and it'll line up nice and easily for you. Now I'm going to put my stamp at the bottom and ink from the top. My rule of thumb is normally the bigger goes on the bottom, so this stamp is bigger than my ink pad, so I'll put that down at the bottom. just stamp this onto my sweet Sugarplum cardstock. That's one, and then I need another one. The weather is really lovely and warm today, so I have the ceiling fan going. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear that whirring around or not. But it is keeping the temperature really comfortable for me in here. Right, so there's those now that need to be cut out. So I'll do that next, because I don't think I'm going to need my big shot after that, am I? No. I am going to need different plates for this though. There's my dies. So they're the two birds. That's the tree, and this is the tree top. So let's do the tree top first. So what I have here, I have the new Big Shot platform. Let's make sure you can see it. Okay, so that's a Big Shot platform, and that comes with the thin die adapter. And then on top of that, you need the precision base plate. This is how to get these dies to cut brilliantly. And then you need one cutting sheet as well. So with all of that sandwich there, you take your cardstock and your die. Now these line up really quite easily with these outside leaves here. You can see them through the gaps. So bearing in mind I can't get my head too far over here. There we go, that's fine. And all I do with this now is I just run it through twice. That's once. And I just bring it back again. And I normally find that the die just comes away from the paper. Oh, in fact, I'll separate those in a moment. Let's get this other one die cut first. And again, line this up. That's it, quite easy. And again, run this through twice. It is a bit stiff, but not too stiff. Okay, so that just lifts off beautifully. So if I bring this over, this is my die brush, very gently run my brush over this, and most pieces will jump out. The other pieces you just need to push with your finger now and they will just pop out. The really, really tiny ones like to hang on for a bit longer if they can. But as you can see, it really is easy. Let's empty that first. And then bring the second one up. Very gently run over. Use my paper piercer just to get these last little bits out. it's certainly not difficult at all. There we go, I think that's it. Yes, so they're all done. Move that one over to safety. Brush that off. We're not going to need that again. And we're not going to need these cutting pads either. So move those there, and then I'm going to bring in my magnetic platform and 2 cutting mats. So there's one. And that one's a bit bent. Let's use the less bent one for the bottom. Right, for the tree. There we go. And for the birds, I'm going to separate these because they are very, very small dies, and the magnets in the board under here are lots of circles. These dies can actually jump around a little bit, so you need to move your cardstock so that it fits on with a magnet. There we go. That's not too difficult. Whoops, I moved that one, but it didn't jump anymore, so that's fine. And then we do the second one. There we go. So let's move out. Alright, you want to turn sideways. There we go, that's fine. Now we can crank these through. Okay, so we have one bird. Two birds. In fact, I don't really want to throw that away, do I? Because I get a few more birds out of that. Let's pop those over there. And the tree. There we go, so that's out nicely. Now I'm going to pop this away. We don't need this anymore. Now, before I go too much further, there's a little bit of stamping that we need to do, and it is amazingly awkward to do it. Now I can't see what I've done with my card. Oh, here it is. You see this little decoration in the corner? I struggle with that. And I have got one over there prepared ready, just in case I make a mess of this one. Now that stamp actually comes from Helping Me Grow, and it's this little one here. I am tempted to go for the straight one, but I just think this is just so pretty that I'm going to persevere with it. See whether I can do it on camera or not. At least I can explain to you what my problem area is, and hopefully help you to avoid it. It's a nice photopolymer, so it's easy to see through. Once I've got it inked up, I'm just going to, in fact, let's do corners towards me. I'm just going to line it up in my corner, and I need to give it a very gentle roll. And what I watch out for is I watch that all of the ink makes contact with the cardstock. I'm not quite sure how to describe the reaction, but you can see the change in the ink when it actually gets onto your card. Right, okay, so let's go. Get my head forward a little bit, put this down, and just make sure I can see. There we go, that's one. Only got another 3 more to go. Right, now number 2. I'm really just concentrating on the ink going down and being very careful about this as well. It is just so easy to get ink onto your block. I think it's because it's such a small stamp. Oh, look what I've gone and done. I wonder if I can get that covered up. And now the third one. Fourth one rather, I can't count. There we go. Now if I can get that covered, then I will be alright. Oh yes, that's fine. Oh well, in that case I can use the one that I've actually stamped in front of you. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just colour this in, and I'm using my sweet Sugarplum marker pen to colour the flowers. So that's those. Now that's alright. And then the leaves I'm doing in mint macaroon. This is one of those things that come under my heading of it's the small details that make your card pop. If you don't have this stamp set, you can easily just draw the corners in like the other one on that stamp set. So that's okay. Now I need to prepare the tree. Now what I do with this is on each tree, just get myself a sheet of paper to lean on. Now I'm not going to do all of this because I have got two over there that I've already prepared, but I do want to show you what I do. First of all, I take my white marker pen and I just draw small circles where there are like 4 leaves, almost forming a pattern, and then I go for the ones that have got 3 leaves, and then I just start filling in where I think that it would be nice to have some more white dots. Okay, because this is obviously quite a time consuming thing to go over and fill in all the dots, and you really don't want to sit there and watch me. So what I'll do is I'll show you one up close. Also what I do once I finish this is I go over all of it, absolutely every part of it, using my Wink of Stella pen. I'm not going to do it all because I think once I've put this down I can't put the white on top of it. I don't know, but I don't want to find that one out the hard way. So let me just show you this one. Let's clear that out of the way. In fact, it might be easy if I show you on white, mightn't it? There's quite a bit of shadow coming from there, I'm not sure where it is. But you can see the white and you can see where the Wink of Stella is. Okay, so there's no real rhyme or reason. Sometimes there's 5 leaves, sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3. It's just so that there was a nice amount of white all over. And then I went over with my Wink of Stella. And then after that, I had to go and put dimensionals on this because I have one tree at the bottom and then I have one on the top. Okay, This was fiddly, but you know me, I do quite a few things that are fiddly. What I did was I took my dimensionals, and there's my scissors. As you can see, I have slowly been cutting all of these bits here. So what I do is I move the large ones out of the way because I don't want to use those. Let's move that one out of the way as well. And then I just go up and I cut these into very small pieces. And then when I get the longer pieces here, I will take them individually, and then I will cut that into two. Then I will use both parts on here. As I say, to do this, it really is fiddly, quite time consuming. So I have done mine ahead of time. Even more time consuming when they decide to stick to your fingers and not let go. Okay, so what you need to finish up with is, have I used the wrong one? I have, haven't I? I don't want dimensionals on that bit. Let's pop those back on there because I'll finish the second one off later on. But I don't want to waste those. Right, okay, so move those, save those. And here's the one that I did earlier. As you can see, all sorts of shapes for my dimensionals, but I've got a really good sprinkling of them all around. So I just need to take these off. In fact, I should stick the other one down first, but never mind. I've started, so I'll finish. It doesn't really matter if you don't take all the backings off of these, because it's the height that you want. As long as there are enough backings off to hold the tree in place, then the other ones really don't matter. I'm just making sure that I go round the outsides, and then I won't worry about the inside ones. No, I think that's all the way round. Yeah, there's some there not done, but that's alright, I'm not going to worry. Okay, let's get rid of the rubbish. Go in that bin there. Right, so my card, I need that to go that way. And the last bit of stamping I'm going to do is I'm going to do the sentiment. The sentiment I'm using is from Guide Greetings. This one here. Okay, so I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to use soft suede. And I'm just going to eyeball this. So I'll bring it down close to me. Make sure it's nice and straight on my grid paper and also nice and central. So at least I'm in with a chance. There we go. I think that's a bit crooked, is it? Not enough for me to worry about. Right, so I'm going to do my tree trunk first. I'm going to pop that in place where I want it, or need it to go actually, and then that'll give me a good idea for placing my tree. And I'll use Tombow That's right, that can come down quite a bit. Okay, tweezers. Right, I'm just making sure that this balances nicely with my sentiment and where the tree is going to be going. That looks about right. Okay, so my tree is central with my happy birthday. Now this I am going to adhere with Tombow, and I'm just going to put a little bit in as many places as I can. This die cut is lovely because there are loads of places where it's easy just to put a little dab of glue. I don't know whether you could get away with using snail. I think it might sort of peep through from the gaps in the die cut. But I'm not an expert on snail because I don't use it often enough. I know that Tombow works brilliantly with this. Now with this one, this tree is meant to go so you've got that gap that goes onto the tree because it fits really nicely there, but because we're putting one on top of the other, I'm putting the underneath one like that, so that comes down and covers over my trunk, and you have to make sure that it covers that one there, and it will automatically cover that one that side, and that very, very conveniently covers up my splodge as well. There we go. Now I can put this one on top with my gap at the bottom. Okay. And then this bit will cover up the gap there. The first time I did this card, I did think about using my pen, my marker pen, and colouring in the gaps, but I decided against that because it came up too dark and it spoilt the overall effect. I also thought about sponging that area underneath the tree very, very lightly, but again I dismissed that idea as well. That one I didn't actually try, but I dismissed it. I didn't like that idea. Right, now I don't know why I just put the top on there, because I'm going to put my card together. So I'm just going to use Tombow. You can use snail or fast fuse, or even tear and tape if you prefer. There we go. And more Tombow on the back. Right, I'm leaving the birds till last because I want you to see the card without the birds. So if you decide you don't want to have the birds, at least you can see what it looks like. Okay, so that's no birds. I'm going to put my birds on, I have to say, and that's with birds. I think the bird just adds something to it. So just a little bit of Tombow on the back of them. And one observation about the birds as well, because they're stamped, they don't actually appear to have eyes, and I don't like the look of that, so I colour mine in, and it would have been a lot more sensible to colour them in before I'd stuck them on. But hey, when do I ever go for the easy option? Right, let's see if I can do it without messing up. I'm just using a fine tip black marker. Alright, that's alright, done one. That's right, done two. So there we go, there's today's card. Okay, one in mint macaroon and one in sweet sugar plum. And of course, yes, I do have another one that I made earlier. And that I used Blushing Bride. I think this card works beautifully with any colour. I will do a blue one next, I'm sure. But look at that sparkle there, isn't it beautiful? The only thing that I wasn't happy about this card was the sentiment, because it's one side. I think you do need something that is all central to keep it balanced. That looks to me a little bit odd. But, you know, no great shakes. So there we go, there's today's project. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you decide to give it a try. Many thanks for watching my video today. If you have any questions, please leave a message in the box below or send me an email to janb@janbcards.com, and I'll be very pleased to help you. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, please click on the 24/7 link that you'll find in the box below the video, and that'll take you straight to my online Stampin' Up shop. Don't forget though, this bundle isn't available until the 2nd of August and will only last until 31st of August. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't ever miss being notified when I post a new one. And finally, I will put all the measurements and the products that I've used for today's card on the screen. If you can't see them there, you will find them in the box below. You will need to click on a bar that says show more, or possibly a grey arrow, something, but it will open the box up for you and everything will be down there ready, waiting. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.